Right now, the space inside your living room is a war zone. In the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, signals from televisions, routers, smartwatches, and microwaves are constantly occupying the exact same physical space, crashing into one another millions of times a second. With all that invisible data colliding in midair, your devices should instantly collapse into a useless wall of static. You shouldn't be able to stream a video or connect a wireless headphone at all. The reason they keep working is a concept called spread spectrum technology. It acts as an invisible traffic architecture, organizing the chaos so that competing signals don't drown each other out. To understand how a modern smartphone survives this digital traffic jam, we have to look back to a 1940s concept built entirely around constant, synchronized evasion. During World War II, early radio-guided torpedoes suffered from a fatal engineering flaw. They relied on a single, static radio frequency to receive steering commands. Enemy ships could easily discover that specific channel and broadcast a jamming signal, pumping high-power noise on the exact same wavelength to cut the connection. An actress named Hedy Lamarr and an avant-garde composer named George Antheil realized that you could outsmart the jammer by refusing to stay in one place. If the torpedo's control signal hopped randomly across multiple frequencies, and the receiver jumped to the exact same frequencies in perfect synchronization, the signal would be entirely secure. To build this, they looked to musical instruments. Their mechanical prototype used a perforated player piano roll and pneumatic tubes to rapidly switch a radio's tuning dial between 88 distinct frequencies, matching the 88 keys on a standard piano. Because the transmitter and receiver were perfectly aligned, the message came through clearly. To an enemy ship trying to jam the signal, it just sounded like random, fleeting bursts of static. The communication channel was a constantly moving target. That brass and paper prototype was too bulky and delicate to survive a wartime torpedo launch. But the mathematical logic of frequency hopping was perfectly sound. It just needed to wait for the hardware to catch up. This comparison matrix shows the technological progression of that exact idea. By the 1950s, engineers working on military communication replaced the bulky paper rolls with early solid-state transistors. They traded the physical limits of pneumatic air for the speed of electrons. The clock speed increased exponentially, and the physical footprint shrank, but the core mathematical logic of evasion remained exactly identical to the 1940s prototype. This 3D illustration shows how those physical piano keys translate directly into the glowing blue frequency bars of a modern Bluetooth interface. When you connect wireless headphones, the chip divides the band into 79 digital channels and hops between them 1,600 times a second. Modern hardware also introduces a critical upgrade over the World War II concept called adaptive frequency hopping, or AFH. Instead of hopping blindly through the spectrum, the Bluetooth brain actively listens to the room. If it detects heavy interference from your microwave, it instantly flags that channel as bad and dynamically rewrites its hopping sequence to only use clear airwaves. It ensures flawless audio connectivity by perfectly choreographing its movements to weave through the gaps in the spectrum rather than trying to overpower the noise. Frequency hopping is highly efficient for low-bandwidth devices like a wireless mouse or a headset, but Wi-Fi networks have to carry 4K video streams and massive game downloads. You cannot squeeze that volume of data through a system that constantly forces the entire signal to jump from one narrow channel to another. This diagram illustrates how modern networks solve the bandwidth problem. A central glass prism splits a single wide beam into hundreds of tiny blue microbeams. This is exactly what Wi-Fi 6 and 7 do with a technology called OFDMA. Instead of moving the whole signal away from interference, OFDMA divides a wide frequency channel into thousands of tiny, simultaneous data streams, known as resource units. When local interference, like a neighbor's router, blocks a small piece of the channel, modern Wi-Fi uses a mechanism called puncturing. It surgically deactivates that specific blocked segment and continues transmitting your movie seamlessly on the remaining microbeams. Wi-Fi handles the modern data deluge by mathematically slicing its signal to cut around the interference, keeping the data flowing without ever abandoning the channel. The modern home is a highly coordinated digital ecosystem. Your Bluetooth devices actively dodge interference with pinpoint rapid-fire hops, while your Wi-Fi router precision slices the wider bands to maintain a massive, uninterrupted flow of data. Every time you seamlessly stream a video or sync a smartwatch, you are relying on the direct mathematical descendant of an avant-garde musical concept drafted for player pianos in 1942. In the invisible, endlessly chaotic environment of the digital spectrum, the only way to truly secure a signal is to ensure it never stands still.